Hello and welcome to Nerdy Gaming with Arabbidb3aver, aka the Camel Toe Adventures page here. And today we've got something very special going on for you guys, TikTok. We had a Facebook Marketplace find, and it's something that's near and dear to my heart, something that I've looked for a long time, and it's been really hard to find in pristine condition. But I got one, man, and I've got to say, we found a Nintendo DS, and it's a DS Lite, is what it is. Gives you the option to change everything, but we got it with a ton of stuff. And this is the ruby red package that it came with, and that's just freaking awesome, guys. Dual screens on the both. I mean, of course, it's got the original black with it. That's hard to find because normally, especially it's listed as Nintendo. I know you guys can't see it, but that's the Nintendo one. But man, the stylus is normally really hard to find. And then we got a ton of stuff with this. This is normally really hard to find. And then we got a ton of stuff with this. Before I get into turning it on and letting you see everything that's going on with this, let's talk about it. So the Nintendo DS is probably one of the most popular console series that they come out with, from DS, DS Lite, DSi, DSi XL, 3DS, 3DS XL, 2DS, and so on. And so the games that are for the series, besides the 3DS, normally everything will play, including Game Boy Advance. So that was one of the features of the Lite, is it has a Game Boy Advance slot right here on the bottom that you can play your Game Boy Advance games on. So it made it really cool back in the day because you could do all sorts of stuff with this, including doing the live with the internet on the DSi and DSi Lite. And so this was a really awesome find. We were in talks with a guy named Ricky. That's all I can say about him. Is his name was Ricky, and he was on Facebook Marketplace, and he had it listed with two house house chargers, two car chargers, one long, one short on both house chargers and car chargers both. And he had a bunch of games listed. And one of the games that he had listed, I was really interested to see because I've seen these a lot of places, but these are the 2DS and 3DS 208 and 408 and all that in one. And it's got a miniature SD card on the inside of it to do it, and it's kind of booted. I mean, it's really just Mac booted stuff, and it was actually pretty good. I mean, it holds its value. It actually saves to the console, holds everything in. But he had a ton of other games that he got with us too. The Atari Retro Action, as you can see right there, he got that for us. Namco Museum DS, that came inside of it. Master of Illusion was what I picked up just a day after for $1.55, dude. You can't beat that stuff. Um, then of course, we've got Nintendogs, which is actually on that 208, and it saves on the 208, but it's here as well. I like to have the original game just in case something goes wrong. Super Mario Bros, which is on that 208 as well, but I've got it just in case. And Zoo Tycoon DS was another game that he actually gave with us, along with Game Boy Advance game. He gave us one Game Boy Advance game with it, which was Mario Kart, the circuit, dude, the Super Circuit. And this is like a $50 game, 25 to $50, depending on where it's at and what's going on. What's going on, man? How y'all doing today? But that was a pretty cool thing that he just threw in for free for the price. Of course, we got Cars DS as well that came with it. And that was something that, you see a lot of these games out in the wild and you just kind of wonder what you're getting. And then, of course, look, guys, I got extra stylus with it as well. So not only the original stylus, but he had backup Nintendo stylus. He had 3 extra stylus that came with it that are Nintendo branded stylus. And he had the Nerf case, which the Nerf case is in pretty rough condition. I'll give him a B minus for that, for it being in rough condition. But dude, he had everything that was available for this console for next to nothing. And then I picked up some extra games as well. I picked up The Amazing Adventures of the Forgotten Ruins. This is one of the Pop Comp's first games that they came out with before Plants vs. Zombies was so popular. And I really enjoyed it like a ton. And I paid $7 for this game, but it's got the manual and the Nintendo DS, Nintendo Party stuff on the inside of it. And it was just something I liked. And then personal cooking trainer is another one. I was looking for the Teach Yourself Japan, like imagine the learning Japan stuff, but it was so hard to find. I couldn't do it. What's up, guys? How are y'all doing today? Hope everybody's doing good. But this was one of the other games that I found out there for $7, completing case with the Nintendo stuff, the Nintendo DS. And then after, if you look underneath, I've got the white card there for Club Nintendo and all that good stuff before they went out. And that was a pretty cool find for this. So, in all, what do I have here with the DS and the DS Lite? The DS Lite is really cool too, by the way. And it powers on just perfectly, as you'll see here in just a second. It'll come to your screen. And this is really hard to find because the screens normally are yellowed or they're broken or they've got scratch marks all over them. But this looks like it was kept in pristine condition the entire time it was there. The entire time. So I don't have anything to say bad about it. What's up, guys? How are y'all doing? Hope everybody's doing wonderful out there. But man, he was a collector for himself. And to find it in the condition that it's in, the ruby red with the microphone slot in the middle on the DS Lite and the Game Boy Advance slot too, it was just a great find. I mean, I have to say, and then look, I'm going to show you. I got Game Boy Advance here. We're going to put it in slot 2 and let it roll. I had it upside down. It's my bad, guys. Once it loads up, I'll show you that, everything that it came with works and it works perfectly. And that's the thing about this thing is, like, if we hit the start GBA, it's going to pop it up. So you've got Game Boy Advance games that you can play right here on the DS Lite for cheap. So what did I pay for the console, for the games, for everything that you got? And as you see, sound work for the games, for everything that you got. And as you see, sound works. So what did I pay for this? What I pay for the bundle? That's a really good question because normally you can find this stuff online between 70 and $240. We paid $80 for this. $80 for everything that you see here, everything that I've showed you today. $80 on a Facebook Marketplace find, guys, for the Nintendo DS. And man, how nostalgic is it? It's just so great to go back and see these and to find these games and find everything with them. And the 208 and 1 that I had out earlier, let me find it and pop it back out here for you guys. But the 208 in 1 game that I've got, that MacBoot game that I've got here, this bad boy, if y'all can see it, it's got everything. It's got all the Professor Layton games on it. I mean, in their entirety, the total of Professor Layton. It's got all of the Mario Brothers series on it in entirety for the DS and for the Game Boy Advance. It's got every Pokemon game that was listed for the Nintendo DS. I mean, all of them. So that was a great find for this. And you can normally expect with games like this to go anywhere from 25 to $75. Some of them are even like if you get the higher ones that are like 508 in 1 and 408 in 1, you can pay almost $100 for a game like this. And he gave it to me with the console. So that was a major find on this, guys. Josh, what's going on, buddy? How you doing today? Huge find on this console. Huge find on this Nintendo DS in pristine condition with no scratches, dude. There is no scratches on these screens. They are crystal clear and they are beautiful. And I mean, I've got to say, there's a little dirty. I touched them with my fingers earlier. They're a little dirty, but I've got to say, man, for the money that we paid for this is an awesome find out in the wild. And it just goes to show you, if people really want to get rid of stuff, you can find this stuff and you can find it on some place like Facebook Marketplace and you can get everything that you need out of something like this. So that's the cool thing about this is you can find all this stuff in the wild. And like I said, it had 2 wall chargers. It had a short one and it's got a long one. And then it had 2 car chargers, a short one and a long one as well. Now, we tried the long one yesterday. The long one did not work. I have not tried the short one yet. That's yet to be seen. But that's for the car chargers on that. I don't feel like I got cheated on that aspect. I mean, you can get reproductions of them between $6 and $32 if you can find them out in the wild, still packaged and everything in them. So it's not a big deal for me to find that stuff. It's just really cool, though, to find the rest of this stuff. Now, this one also, this DS Lite was kind of in the middle of production years on it because it's got the T-Jack at the bottom here for the microphone. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's 2 slots there for the microphone and headphones to go in. So if you had the external ear mic and you also had the headphone jack with that ear mic, you could use this in a double slot. So this is one of the cool years. It was right before the DSi came out, and right in between the DS Lite second edition that they came out with for the Lite, which just only had the headphone jack on the front. So that's something really neat to see, is because you don't see them out in the wild like this very often. Volume works perfect. Case is in immaculate condition. It is not a secondary case. This was all sealed. I even took the battery off to make sure that it was an original Nintendo battery that was on the inside. The original Nintendo stylus came with it, and I got 3 extra stylus on the other side of it as well. I mean, I just made out like a bandit with this thing, and I'm extremely happy with the way that it turned out with this DS. So I'm telling you guys, and I've told everybody before, just like I'm telling you guys right now, in the wild, you can find this stuff. It's out there. It's on Facebook Marketplace. It's at swap meets. It's in pawn shops. I've got two. I've got a 2DS and a 3DS in a pawn shop right now that I'm about to pay out within the next month. And the reason that they're in there is because somebody pawned them and they didn't get their pawn ticket, and I bought them. Put them on layaway to buy them out. I put them on a payment plan to buy them out. And, I paid close to retail on one. I paid $99 on the 2DS. The 3DS, I paid $120 on. It's a $300 retail special edition 3DS. So you can find that stuff in the wild. It's just a matter of where's it at and how much you want to pay on this stuff, including the Nintendo DS Lite that I got right here. Now, something that, we didn't talk about. I'm going to turn this bad boy back on real quick. And once it comes back on, you're going to see the screen come on. But they gave a feature on the inside of this where you could dim the screen. You could just straight up dim the screen no matter what was going on with it. And that is one of the coolest features that is available to this, that made this more valuable, was dimming the screen in 4 selective slots. And once you got it dimmed to the dimness that you wanted, or the brightness that you wanted, then you could use it for that. And they did that because there was a lot of kids that were holding it really close to their face, just like they did with the 3DS, and was causing them to have eyesight problems. So they dimmed the screen to make it so it wouldn't affect the children. And they're constantly looking for ways to do stuff like that. Now, let me go back up here to PictoChat here. So if you don't know, PictoChat is something that's on all of these, and you can select any chat room you want to go into with any cursor that you want, and you can test out everything that goes on. You can test the screen for the hot buttons. As you see, the buttons are working, so you can see that. You can also test the latency of it for R and B. You can see A, B, X, Y, Z. You can see all the buttons work. Select worked, start works. I mean, so that's pretty cool, man. I mean, for it to come in with everything working, no problems whatsoever, and then as soon as you back out, it's gonna give you this screen. It's gonna tell you what you wanna shut down. That's one of the older system versions because they didn't have the button on it, and you'll have to tell it yes or just shut it down, and it'll automatically shut down. But that's one of the older system versions of it, and you guys don't even understand how cool this system is. Like, for real. I mean, there's so much that's going on with this that it's just a great find in the wild, great find to see, especially with the Game Boy Advance player that works on the bottom, the Game Boy Advance player, and it's got the case to lock it back in when you're done with it. The 2DS, the DS game slot on the top. So this is a gem, man. You can get some stuff. He said $75 cash, $100 cash. Actually, we paid $80 cash with everything that was shown here, guys. And that's pretty cool. I mean, I paid $80 cash case and a bunch of games. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games with it. Well, one of them's got 208 games on it. These are 9 games that are loose that came with it. I bought 2 extra games with it right here. Boom, boom, for it. And man, it just worked itself out. I mean, that was awesome. Thanks, Cash Man. I appreciate you for coming in here and talking to me. It's not for sale, unfortunately. It's going to stay in my personal collection. I'm going to play it until the day that it dies. That's how I feel about it. Every day I played a little bit of something on it. I was playing Professor Layton earlier. I really enjoy the Professor Layton series on it. It's real fun, and that's one of the games that came with this 208 and 1, man. So really cool game right here that happened for the Nintendo DS. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for coming in and being here. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming in and following and seeing this TikTok today. But yeah, we've just had a great time with the Nintendo DS, and we're trying to revisit some of the things that happened with it and some of the things going. Now, I know that there's a way that you can connect online to a special DNS system to get the console back 100% completely online. I don't know the DNS code right off the top of my head, but I know it's 168 something. Um, I haven't done that yet with this console because I'm afraid if I put it back online that they're going to boot it, is what I'm afraid is going to happen, especially because of that 3DS game, 2DS game that I've got that's got the 200 in it plus one. So, but it's really cool to see this stuff come out in the wild and find this stuff out in the wild. I mean, it's really cool to see it for what it is. And like I said, I'm gonna case it up real quick and I'm gonna show it to you how I got it whenever I got it, so you can see. It came like this, man. So in this Nerf case, it had 3 on top, 3 in the middle, and 3 with the Game Boy Advance being the third one in the back there. And this, like I said, this Nerf case was extremely rough. It was thrown around and patted around and put in some heat, and it's got a lot of cracking and damage that's going on with the Nerf case. But the 3DS is out there in the wild, man. It was out there, and the 2DS and the DSi Lite are out there in the wild, and you can pick them all up. You can pick them all up. You just got to know where to look and where to go. And that's why I tell you guys all the time. I tell everybody all the time, all you got to do is know exactly where to go and what to pay and who to talk to and build a relationship with your pawn shops. Walk in and say, "Hey, I'm looking for yada 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 today," and buy something from them. Take $10 and buy a game from them. Buy something from these pawn shops because you don't ever know what you're going to find at the pawn shops. You don't ever know what you're going to find with relationships with other people you meet on Facebook. It could turn into a lifelong buy and sell relationship because you have something in common with these people, and which in this case was a 2DS system plays Game Boy Advance games in the DS Lite, you know? And that's awesome. The Nintendo DS Lite, dude, it was ahead of its time, 100% ahead of its time with the way that Nintendo did it. And they were forward thinking, trying to make sure that you didn't lose any of the games that you already owned for the Game Boy Advance, giving you the Game Boy Advance player. And you can choose which screen to put the Game Boy Advance player on. You can put it on the bottom or you can put it on the top in the DS. And that was one of the things that really set that console on fire, that generation on fire. Of course, you've got games like Brain Age and Brain Age 2 that really challenged people to figure out what they were doing inside of the DS. And like I told you guys, I'm a huge Professor Layton fan, and I was playing it earlier today. I was playing Professor Layton earlier today because I like the puzzles, I like the mystery, I like to figure out what's going on in Professor Layton every so. And I've played them through 2 or 3 times, but man, every time I play it, I learn something new in each of those games. So, you've got to find what games stick to you and what speak to you. And there's new mods that are out for this too. The DS Lite actually has a mod that's out to put a chip to do output to video. So you can play it on a television or a computer screen or some other stuff. And if you're willing to go through those mods and get those mods and put those out, more power to you, man, because you can do anything you want to do with your console. You can have anything you want for your console as long as you're willing to go out there in the wild and find it. And I think that that's the message that we want to tell everybody is it does not matter where you start in collecting. You can always find something wonderful like this, that came like this, that is pristine like this from somebody who took good care of it. This is from a smoke-free home. This is from a smoke-free environment. All the games were from a smoke-free home and a smoke-free environment. They all work on this system. These copies were from smoke-free homes, smoke-free environment. So, I mean, you got to realize that this stuff is out there. You can find it. You can find games anywhere. And like the area that we're in, we have GameStop, of course. Then you've got Blasted Machines, which is a local store, a local retro store in our area. Then you've got McKay's, which is in Chattanooga. You've got Second and Charles, which is in Chattanooga. You've got Divine's Games, which is in Chattanooga. I mean, you've got all these places that you can go to look for this stuff, including the pawn shops that are available. Something that you guys don't understand is there's a lot of pawn shops that are sitting on PS1, PS2, PS3, Xbox 360, some Xbox One games, of course, PlayStation 4 games. And, they're sitting on all these games. They're sitting on all this stuff, and you guys are wasting your time trying to go to all the wrong places when you could build a relationship right down the street from you with the pawn shop owner, or with Bob, the guy on Facebook Marketplace, or Ricky, the guy on Facebook Marketplace, and you can have a great relationship. And when they find stuff, they know you're a collector and they know that you want to get it. You've got to find that stuff, guys. And that's all I wanted to say. I mean, it's 20 minutes here. I've kind of ramped on a little bit too long, but thank you guys for coming in to my TED Talk. And thank you for being here for the Nintendo DS, the DS reveal that we got for $80, dude. That's so cool with everything that's available. I appreciate you guys for being here. And man, hope to find more stuff like this in the wild in the future, and hope to bring it to you live and also bring it to you recorded wherever you guys are at. And don't forget to hit that like, follow, and subscribe if you like what you see. And hey, we're here to have a good time. We're here to have a good time in gaming. And in the future, we want to be coming to you with some more games. We would love for you guys to join us on our adventures as we go out in the wild and as we find some more stuff. So please come on out and be with us each and every time that we're here. Thank you guys so much. And I will talk to each and every one of you soon. And remember, you heard it right here first on Camel Toe Adventures, aka the Arabbid Beaver, Nerdy Gaming with Arabbidb3aver page. Thank you guys very much. Bye bye.